Sup YouTube, it's your boy Uncle Tone Lab, formerly known as Uncle Guitar. Well, it's Uncle Tone Lab anyhow. You know what it is. In this video, I wanted to talk about mental health and how I was diagnosed with schizophrenia and how guitar changed my life. Of course, how it is for any other mental health diagnosis, they didn't get my diagnosis right at first. My mom thought I had ADHD. It was difficult for me to stay focused in school, difficult to concentrate, just difficult to do a lot of stuff. And I wasn't ever really the best at math. I think that was my worst subject. And I went to a public school, and that's when I really started getting into trouble. The other kids there would bully me and like tease me and stuff like that. I ended up getting in fights at recess. That was my first fight. That was my first reality. First time I had a bloody nose. First time I had a bloody lip. Yeah, that was my first fight. Yeah, my behavior problems led me to an alternative school. You know, small number of kids in the classroom for kids that just act out all the time. Maybe kids that need to be like physically contained when they're acting out. Just kids that are just bad, rebellious. I was really good at chess. I always thought I was going to be a chess player, like a famous chess player. Back then, that movie Searching for Bobby Fischer came out, and we would watch that, and I thought I was going to be like a master chess player or something. That's what I always thought I was going to be. Every now and then I have moments where my medication doesn't work, and like I'll go for like a whole year without any symptoms, and then all of a sudden, like within like a few months after that, like the symptoms, they just come back, and when they come back, they're just like boom, like they just hit hard. And sometimes I end up having to go into the hospital and just get my meds like readjusted and stuff like that. Places I've been in since I was little, in and out of these places, group homes, hospitals, psych wards. Even when I got into trouble and I ended up in prison for a couple of years, they had me in a psych ward in prison. I wasn't with the rest of the general population. Well, I was with general population, but it wasn't with like, it was like the psych med where they have you take meds and stuff like that. I love guitar because I can crank it up and play it as loud as I want to. And when I am hearing voices, it drowns out the voices. You know, because they all start competing for my attention and stuff like that. And I just plug in my guitar and I crank it up as loud as I can, even with my headphones on or without my headphones on sometimes. And it just helps drown it out. And then they tend to get mad at me and they go away. In worst case scenarios, my voices will get so bad that sometimes I might hallucinate. I'll start to hallucinate and I'll start to hear bad things, you know, and get like signals and pick up like information and signals from like the TV and stuff like that. I guess when that started happening, I turn off the TV and I just like go for a walk or I play my guitar or something like that. And that really seems to help me, you know. But the medication, it does make me sleep, you know, and feel like really sleepy. So I've learned that it's best if I split my pill in half and then I substitute it with melatonin, because melatonin like really helps me like relax and calm down, and it helps me sleep. And I ran that past my doctor first. So my doctor was okay with it. Because of the schizophrenia, obviously it's like pretty much impossible for me to work full time working with other people. I've had jobs before and I freaked out and had episodes at work. So it makes it impossible for me to like, you know, work around people 24/7, or not 24/7, like punch a clock, 9 to 5. And because of that, I'm on disability or SSI, you know, but I try to stay productive. I'm not one of those people that just get SSI and just stay home. You know, like I try to really make the best of my situation, and I try to improve daily, and I don't make any excuses. You know, yeah, I might have this mental health and stuff. I might have the schizophrenia and stuff like that. I might have to take meds and I might not be feeling at my optimum, at my best all the time, but I don't use it as an excuse. I never let it stop me from creating. I don't use it as an excuse to stay in bed. I don't use it as an excuse to isolate. I don't use it as an excuse to say, oh, I don't want to shower, I don't want to bathe today or anything like that, you know? Sometimes it is kind of hard to get in the routine of like doing things like basic ADLs and stuff like that. That's like, that's essential for me, you know, because I be paranoid that somebody like, you know, tap the shower, the boiler or something like that. And like acid water is going to come out and like rain on top of me and melt me and stuff like that. So I just be like double or triple checking the shower, like the back of my hand, you know, and like stuff like that. Like when I hear knocks at the door, sometimes I just like hide behind the corner and like really I look out this little window right here. Yeah, the paranoia, sometimes it really gets to me, But like I said, lately I've been stable, so medication helps, and seeing a therapist, I see my therapist like once a week. So my doctor, I talk to my doctor like once a month, see my therapist once a week. And that really helps, and hanging out with other people. They used to have clubhouses before COVID started, but when COVID started, they took away all the clubhouses. And clubhouses were a place that people would, like mental health or mental illness, like me or whatever, we could all like be together and like, it's like a place we could all come together and we're all like going through the same thing and we can all like understand and relate from each other. They have groups there. They have self-improvement groups there. Think AA or NA on steroids. I believe a lot of my mental health, stems from the fact that my parents did drugs when they was pregnant. Like my mom, when she was pregnant with me, apparently she was addicted to meth or like cocaine or something. Like she was addicted to some kind of drug. And like my dad, he was an alcoholic or a drug addict or something. And I believe both of my parents died when I was a baby. Or no, I was like, yeah. They died when I was little. I know my adopted mom adopted me at 3, and she adopted my sister along with me. And she didn't adopt my brother because my brother was a troublemaker at the time, and nobody really wanted to deal with him. It's kind of funny, though, because out of me and my sister, he turned out to be the most successful one. My brother, like, I think he's been working for the same company for, like, over 16 years or something like that. He's been working for them for a while. I think he does like Brinks or armor security or something like that. Those guys that drive the trucks with all the money and stuff like that. Yeah, he does that stuff. And I think he might be looking at CEO or management or something like that. So yeah, shout out to my brother. He's doing real good. On my channel, there is no taboo subjects. I'm not ashamed of my mental illness. I'm not ashamed of my schizophrenia. I mean, if anything, it's taught me, if anything, overcoming that, and not letting it hold me down and hold me back, it just makes me stronger, or at least it makes me feel stronger, makes me feel more invincible and stuff like that. But yeah, mental health matters, check on your loved ones. Thank God, I've never been really suicidal. I'm not the suicidal person. I've lost friends to suicide. I'm not really the suicidal person. That's not really my thing. I don't really get depressed. Like I said, schizophrenia, hearing voices, that's more my thing. The paranoia, that's more me. I'm kind of happy I've never ever had to deal with depression. My heart goes out to everybody that has dealt with depression. Yeah, this video is going to be cut probably kind of short, a little shorter than some of my other videos because I believe my girl just woke up right now. I could hear when she goes into the bathroom, and usually when she wakes up, she wants to come out here and find out what's going on and stuff like that. So if you drew anything from this video, if you got anything from it, you love the content, you like the realness, you like hearing about this sort of topic or whatever, hear about how music saved me, how these guitars saved me and stuff like that, then go ahead and subscribe, send a like, send this video to somebody else, share it with somebody else who may just not be in the best state of mind all the time. Maybe somebody else is out there struggling with depression, schizophrenia, bipolar, or whatever it is. They might be going through their own things. Everybody's battling their own demons, but it's up to us, as individuals to decide if we're going to let that take over our lives, or are we going to have claim authority over it. But yeah, until then, it's been real talking to y'all, YouTube. See y'all in the next video. Peace!